So, Nikola Jokic is having one of his worst shooting performances in a playoff series in his career. And we need to dig into the footage to figure out why such an unstoppable force is looking so mortal through 4 games against OKC. The first stat that jumps out to me is his three-point shooting. Considering he's one of the elite shooters from behind the arc, it's really strange that not only is he missing so many, but he's taking so many versus the Thunder. First off, it's not as bad as it looks considering he's taken 5 end-of-quarter heaves with virtually no chance of those going in. But he's still way below what we're accustomed to seeing, which is often a pick and pop with Jamal Murray. When Murray is aggressive getting downhill, it forces Jokic's man to deal with the dribble penetration, leaving Jokic to snipe from way downtown. In fact, a primary reason why Jokic's three-point percentage is so high is because he simply doesn't shoot them unless he's wide open. And when he can run the pick and roll with Murray at any time they like, it's a great way to pop him out to the three-point line for a high percentage shot. Now let's look at how OKC is defending this action. Since they have absolute bulldogs in both Lu Dort and Alex Caruso, they can rely on them to fight through the screens so Jokic's man doesn't have to leave him to help, forcing Murray into some tough shots. Here's Caruso staying glued to Murray's hip after he rejects the screen with a spin move. Notice how Jalen Williams ignores the drive so he can stay at home to be in great position in case Jokic gets the ball for a pop 3. With Hartenstein defending Jokic, it leaves Chet to roam the back line of the defense. Hartenstein never gets below the free throw line as Murray is getting full penetration. Rather than kick to an open Gordon for 3, he challenges Chet and it turns into an embarrassing catch-of-your-own airball. Denver is trying to screen Jokic's man before the pick and roll to get him out of position, but Jalen Williams is tough enough to absorb the contact and continue defending. As Gordon cuts through, watch how it's Caruso who helps deal with the penetration from Murray to allow Williams to stay close enough to deter the pop from Jokic. This strategy doesn't always work, however, as Murray can turn the corner and watch Hartenstein just move back to Jokic, thinking Chet will help off Gordon to protect the rim. While J-Dub gets there to wave, Murray is too good to allow him that much of a runway. They don't always follow this strategy, and the Nuggets can capitalize on that. Here, Jay Will switches on to Murray while Cason Wallace chases into a double team. Chet is really slow recognizing his rotation, and Jokic hits his trademark off-foot floater on the roll. But for the most part, the ability to take away the three-point shot out of the pick and roll has been a huge advantage for the Thunder. Watch how Hartenstein ignores Murray's drive, while Caruso stunts off of Porter Jr. and Wiggins can certainly afford to help off of Brown in the corner. This gets bottled up completely and should have been a stop until Williams goes for the shot fake and foolishly gets too close on this shot attempt. Because Jokic's man won't leave him in a pick and roll, he's resorted to rolling a lot more than popping, which is taking away one of his key sources for open threes. Williams does show at the ball for a second before getting immediately back to Jokic as he rolls instead of pops. And Williams has been terrific with his physicality on Jokic, who tries to dislodge him with a big shoulder but ends up getting stood up by Williams, who contests this shot into a miss and a stop for OKC. Here's another roll despite Hartenstein dropping into coverage on Murray. Not only should Jokic have popped for 3 here, he then rolls to the free throw line to take a contested 18-footer that doesn't go down. The other small adjustment OKC has made out of this is to make sure they get a decent contest against Jokic's 2-motion over-the-head shot. It is a slow setup and arrhythmic shots like this can get easily affected by even the slightest uptick in pressure with the hand up. Compare some of these contests by OKC that allows them to be right on Jokic's fingertips on release of the ball to the usual types of threes he takes during the regular season. It should be pretty clear that under the added pressure of the playoffs and the defense, these contests of the shots are clearly having an effect on Jokic's accuracy. The problem is, he still needs to take these shots to keep the defense honest and under possible duress of the shot clock ticking down. It looks like he started to think about them too much. Notice how he slows everything down more than normal and then stutter steps his right foot plant that definitely disrupts his rhythm despite being completely wide open. No surprise that it misses short. So watch for him to start warming up before games with a defender in his face so that he can better handle the defense. If we look at his great Game 1 numbers a little more closely, it might explain why the rest of the series hasn't gone so well. When he wasn't grabbing offensive rebounds for putbacks, which totaled 4 of his 15 baskets, he was abusing Chet Holmgren in the half court. And I want you to notice something in particular about the way Jokic was scoring, going to his right. As you can see, Chet allows Jokic to go to his strong hand on these scores, as he can use that battering ram of a left shoulder to get space and then finish over that shoulder for the bucket. So give credit to Coach Daigneault for getting Chet off of Jokic and ramping up Jalen Williams' minutes to defend him. First off, Williams is very physical in the way he defends and can offer a lot of resistance to Jokic when he initiates contact as the offensive player. With Hartenstein, you can see how he's positioning himself to take away Jokic's right hand. Check Ihart's left foot as it is in front of his right to angle Jokic back to his left. This leads him into the help off of Russ, and he then settles for a contested midi when the drive is again taken away. After switching on to Jokic in Game 4, you can again see how Hartenstein angles his feet to force left, and when Jokic faces up, he moves even further towards Jokic's right side to take that direction away. While he generates a decent shot, a foul line pull-up jumper isn't the most optimal shot for him. Here's another Hartenstein post-defense positioning where he is forcing Jokic back to the baseline, and Jokic ends up kicking it out instead of finding a close-in shot. And Hartenstein again takes away the possibility of Jokic going to his right as he gets his feet wide and leans on the back of Jokic's left shoulder to force him that way into the help and miss shot. If we go back to the Murray-Jokic pick and roll for a second, one reason Murray can't get downhill is because the defense is willing to load to the ball off of Russ. Notice Caruso just standing and waiting for Murray, luring the pass to a wide open Westbrook and daring him to shoot it. They did it again on this double ball screen for Murray, and the Nuggets continue to take the bait when Russ won't use the open real estate to drive the ball to the rim. This is a different type of screen, but Caruso still ignores Westbrook in order to shadow Jokic spotting up. Russ makes the smart choice to cut into the open area through the lane, and it gets them a layup. Russ simply needs to spot up for threes less and attack the rim on cuts and drives more. If we glance at the synergy numbers for this season, you can see his post-ups have a healthy efficiency in line with his usual career numbers. But in the playoffs, they've plummeted. While it does look like they're trying to force him to his left, it also can be they're trying to eliminate one direction altogether, so they can defend him slightly more easily, knowing which direction he's going to turn to. The bottom line is that his post-ups in general have been terrible, not finishing the kind of close-in shots that we've been accustomed to seeing him make in his sleep. I think the physicality has bothered him. There are some calls he should have gotten, but for the most part, it's good, clean playoff basketball. I'm sure Nuggets fans are upset that he doesn't get more foul calls, but he is shooting 9 free throws per game in this series, and many times he's the one instigating the contact, doling it out as much, if not more, than what he's receiving. So it makes it very difficult for the referees to determine who has more of an advantage on these plays. As it stands now, the refs aren't the people to point the finger at. For instance, on this drive in the second quarter, he clearly absorbs the illegal contact before he gathered the ball with both hands into the shot, so this is not a shooting foul and the basket does not count. Had Jokic made these 2 free throws down the stretch of Game 4, along with series X-Factor Aaron Gordon missing one here, the outcome of Game 4 could have been different, and it would be the Nuggets preparing for a Western Conference Finals appearance. All it takes is for Jokic to get anywhere close to what we're used to seeing from him in terms of field goal percentage. And if it is in Game 5, then watch out OKC. The winner of this game wins the series most of the time. And I tell any other future opponents of the Nuggets that if Jokic returns anywhere near to form, they'll have a ticket to the NBA Finals at least.